All right, and welcome back to Logan Simmons Photography. Great to have you here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. You notice there's no laptop in front of me, so we're not talking about software on your PC or laptop or Mac, what have you. We're actually going to talk about a new program from Adobe called Adobe Photoshop Camera. So exciting stuff. It's just been released to the public. It's in beta testing for a while, so I wanted to show it to you. And what is this program? We'll talk about it. But before we do that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Help us out a lot and allows you to see these videos right when they come out. And if you do happen to like the video, make sure you hit that like button again. Helps out with the algorithm, shows that you like what you see. So, what is Adobe Photoshop Camera? Well, let's talk about what it isn't. It is not Adobe Photoshop on your phone. It's available for iOS and Android, so iPhone or Android. It doesn't do that. There's no layers, there's no color spaces, there's no dimensions, save as JPEG, Adobe PDF, what have you. None of that. It's a couple of things. It is a camera app for your phone where you can take a picture and do Photoshop-like edits to it, I guess they would say. Or you can import pictures from your camera roll and make edits that way as well. So it's something a little bit different. I'm not sure if it should be called Adobe Photoshop or not, but that's what it is. So I've got a little the camera open right now, or the Photoshop Camera app, and you see me on here, and it's choosing the front-facing camera. I can of course also use the back-facing camera, and if you look down here on the bottom of the screen, you're going to see these different kind of things here, which are these are all the different filters, and of course you can download different filters from Adobe's website. There's an option to add more, you'll see down there, and they all have all the different sorts of modes. One thing I will mention about the filters, some of them, in fact, it's going to say right here, this particular one right here requires a face. You may have saw there, finding a face. So sometimes it does have to be a portrait. Other times it does have to be a sky. For instance, if you see there, it's saying find the sky. It's not detecting one. Maybe it's thinking my wall back there is. So a couple little different limitations right there. Really cool stuff. So what I want to go ahead and do, I'm actually going to look at some pictures I've already taken. So if you go over here to the right, you'll see a little box. I'll go ahead and tap on that, and you can see some pictures I've already taken. Now this is one thing I want to mention. These photos will stay inside the Adobe Photoshop Camera app until you export them, whether that's to your camera roll or to the Adobe Cloud server, or there are some options up there you can export to Lightroom, stuff like that. Also on the iPhone, that of course is an app for iPhone and Android, or of course on your PC or Mac. I'm going to go ahead and click on this scene right here, and there's a couple different things you're going to see up here. There's this adjustment option. I of course can go in here, let's say highlights. Maybe I want to go ahead and blow those out a little bit more. Maybe I want a little bit more shadow detail, what have you. That could all be done right in here, maybe more clarity, what have you, and go ahead and hit done, and I can go ahead and get that edit complete. But I want to point you down here to lenses. If I click on lenses here, I can actually edit what I've been doing already. So let's say, I don't particularly like this filter, let's say. So let's go over to, I don't know, scenery here, and we can click on some different options here. And you can see that's kind of like what the image used to look like. This is actually a very subtle filter in this particular case. Reverie, sorts of different kind of moody things like that. There's a star or something like that. Artful, I think, is what I was using before, so we can flip through here and actually see how this works. Now, we'll go ahead and flash up some video on the screen of how the particular sky filter looks like. So there's some kind of cool options. And again, these are what you download into the program, although there are some default filters that are already inside there. But you can have balloons, you can have a starscape in there, all sorts of fun stuff. I think there's like a moon option. It really does make it really, really fun to use. Hopefully, I'm saying fun a lot because it is fun. This is kind of what this program is. It's not a serious photo editing program where you're going to make serious professional adjustments, if that's a thing you want to say. It's a fun thing. Lots going on there. So, let's go ahead and just keep going through here. I'm going to go ahead and use my back camera, I think, right there. There you go. You see my my camera there, and it's detected. Like I said, that wall is the sky. I got those green people there. Some different options. Hey, there's some cool stuff. I can go ahead and do that. And these are kind of animated, but when I actually hit the shutter button, I'll be able to. In fact, let me go ahead and do that right now. And that's one thing I want to mention. You see how it kind of froze up there for a second? We are doing a screen capture, so that may slow things down. But I did notice if you're starting to take pictures and navigate between filters and look at your existing photos, if you do it all at the same time, the phone does start to warm up and slow down. This is a very processor-intensive program. In fact, I did see reviews of some older iPhones where they may not have worked as well. The program barely ran. And this is an iPhone SE from 2020, so it's the second generation. It does have the latest Apple processor. I think it's the A13. But I can even feel right now as I'm holding it, if I were to feel that back right there, I can feel it starting to warm up a little bit there. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not sure how it performs on Android versus iOS. Typically, Apple's programs run a little bit faster. The iOS is a little bit less buggy. But hey, maybe that's my bias, but that's kind of how it works. So let's go ahead and go back to that image we just took. So I'm going to click there on that little icon. And here's my picture. So of course, I can go in here and again and edit. Maybe I'd like to make it a little bit more, have some more clarity. If it's going to let me, there we go. So I can go ahead and slide back there, and then maybe, shadows, maybe I'd like to bring those up just a little bit there. Pretty cool. And maybe let's see if there's like a vibrance, maybe a little bit more contrast here. Trying to get this scale to work. It's kind of an interesting little scale there. There we go. Contrast, maybe blow that out a little bit more. There we go. Just kind of get used to it. It's kind of reverse of what you would normally think. I'll go ahead and hit done. Now, if you look up there at the very top, I can export to Photoshop. That little sparkle there with a little magic wand, that's an automatic feature, which if you wanted it to go ahead and just make its best guess as to how you want the photo, you would hit that. Of course, I can go back to the lenses. If I hit this button here down there in the right-hand corner, that's going to save it to our camera roll, or I can share it right from here. It's in different sizes. I could go ahead and do that. And you can see I could upload it to Facebook, Instagram, messages, what have you there. I think I'm just going to go ahead and hit that download button there. And these are just different aspects. I haven't really figured out the difference between original and freeform, but of course you can see there's different aspect ratios there. I'm going to go ahead and save original, and it's going to hit save. And I believe, yeah, now it's disappeared there from the Adobe Photoshop Camera app because it's now in my camera roll. I can download that. I can go ahead and do whatever I want with it inside iOS, just as any normal picture would. One thing I will mention that's a little bit disappointing here, obviously it's kind of more fun. This is not Adobe Photoshop or anything like that, but the output resolution seems to be a little bit more than 2 megapixels. So for example, this iPhone SE has a 12 megapixel camera, but when I use the Photoshop Camera app, it's only outputting something a little bit over 2 megapixels. Not sure why Adobe did that. Maybe it's because it's so demanding even with 2 megapixels. Maybe if it did 12, maybe no phones will support it. So, this is an early look at it. I think it's still early on, even though this is the first version available to the public. Maybe as the phones become faster later on, we'll see more sophisticated filters. Maybe we'll be a little bit faster. Maybe we can get a little bit higher resolution. But this is kind of where we are. Would I use it for serious work? No, but definitely it's something you can use for Instagram, for Facebook. Be a lot of fun. So definitely try it out. It's a free app for iPhone and Android. You do have to sign in with your Adobe ID, but I don't believe you have to have one of their paid Adobe Cloud subscriptions. If you just have a free Adobe account, that'll work just as well there. So anyway, lots of cool stuff there. Make sure, again, that you're following the channel so you can see all this great content. And again, make sure you like this video if you do like it. Appreciate it a lot. So anyway, that is the video here for today, and appreciate you watching. You have a good one. Bye-bye.